Hello. In this video, I want to show you how to use your college university associated GitHub account to apply for free education benefits through GitHub, such as GitHub Copilot, which is an AI code completion tool that you can put right in VS Code and different IDEs, as well as use within GitHub. So at this point, you should already have a GitHub account, and it should be either made with your college university email, or you should have gone to your settings and added that email, and ideally switch that to the primary email for the account. Now, when I go to the GitHub home page when I'm logged in, you see that it's already, this seems fine, and there we go. So your setup is incomplete. Select your preferences below. It seems like when I reload the page, I'm not getting that error anymore. And it says I'm using GitHub Copilot free. So my responses are limited to 200 or 2,000 code completions and 50 chat messages per month. So what does that mean? Well, there are lots of different ways you can use Copilot. If we look up Copilot in your IDE, your integrated development environment, and I click here, you're going to see we have Azure Data Studio, JetBrains, Vim and NeoVim, Visual Studio, Visual Studio Code, and Xcode for the Mac. I'm going to choose Visual Studio Code. It even gives me a link right here, but I'll show you how you can do it from your own VS Code. So for VS Code, the way Copilot is going to get going, you see it's even suggesting that I use Copilot here. The way you get going is with an extension, and you can get that from the extension marketplace, which you'll access in this sidebar here. Control-Shift-X, and then you can search for Copilot. And in the current versions, when you click install for Copilot, you should also get downloaded GitHub Copilot Chat, which is the extension that powers the chatbot-like experience that is similar to ChatGPT or Google Gemini or Bing in the Edge browsers, things like that. So we're going to click Sign in to use Copilot. You see it automatically takes me to my default browser, which is Chrome, and it's going to pick up my sign-in as this. And then I'm going to authorize VS Code. It's going to redirect. I'm going to use this link to open the application, and it should log me in. Seems to want me to sign in again for some reason. Let's see why that is. Try again. And there we go. Now we have a chat. And so I could ask Copilot. A question I've been liking to ask recently is something you may or may not understand, but which version of React obviates the need for forward ref? It says React 16. So the correct answer to this question I was looking for was React 19. If I were to Google that question, actually Google Gemini built into the search engine will probably find this. Seems like Gemini answers aren't coming up. But you see if I look at this, block 19 deprecated, meaning they got rid of forward ref, and there's a much easier way to do this. You used to do something like this. You have to wrap something in this, and now you can just pass ref as a prop. So that's a really up-to-date information. It's a good example of how AI is, based on its training data, and so it may or may not have up-to-date information on facts. It has this stuff because this is old enough to be in the training data, whereas React 19 is very new, very cutting edge, so it's not necessarily going to be there. So it really didn't provide me a good answer to this question, and AI definitely can be wrong. It often is wrong. Because it's not simply a database of facts. It's not 100% true. It's just basically organizing information in a really clever way. So even just think about the fact that it's trained on lots of people who can create wrong things. So if I say a bunch of wrong facts in a text file, and then I push push that text file into GitHub, and GitHub trains their AI on my file, then that list of bad facts is going to be mixed in with all of the other lists of other people's good facts. And so you can see how that chain of events could lead to the AI having knowledge, or seeming to have knowledge, that is incorrect, or not be able to answer questions correctly, provide good code. It could provide out-of-date code. So there's just a lot of risks to keep in mind. But nonetheless, it's a really powerful tool. And that's all you really need to get started. But as a student, you have access to GitHub Pro. You can get Copilot Pro through an educational program. While you're in school, you can get access to these free benefits. And so if I go here, it's going to give me this suggestion. And if you Google something like GitHub Education pack or something like that, you'll see the student developer pack will come up, and you'll see sign up for student developer pack. It's going to end up taking you to this same place regardless. So if we click on that, you'll see access these benefits. You want to select your role as a student, and then you're going to have to make sure you qualify in all these different ways. Are you enrolled in a degree program at this institution? Can you provide documentation that demonstrates your status? And so then you're going to pick your school. New River Community College. And that's NRCC. That's the one that my email is associated with here. We'll allow this time the location. I have to turn location services on here. And have to allow location settings, I suppose. Allow location. Huh, that's weird. Maybe I have to restart Chrome. I hadn't let apps access my location. That was the problem there. Okay, and this is a good error. It's going to say your GitHub account must have two-factor authentication to proceed. So we're going to click that GitHub doc, and basically I think this is going to ask you to go to your settings in GitHub and add two-factor authentication. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go to GitHub, go to settings, probably under security, something like that, password and authentication, enable two-factor, and then we'll just use an authenticator. In this case, I'll just use the Duo app, Duo Mobile. So I'll scan the QR code and enter the code. Alright, we're going to download these recovery codes. You want to put those somewhere safe in case you lose your Duo or your two-factor device, you'll need these codes to log back in. So put those in, cloud storage, something that's secured in some other account, and that's not going to burn up if you have a house fire or something like that. Make sure you save those. I've saved my codes, and there we go. If you have a fingerprint scanner on your computer, you could also do something like a passkey, which might allow you to log in without a password, but I'm just going to move on. So back here again, NRCC, select New River, continue. Okay, upload proof of your academic status. So this is really important, what they're looking for. They want your student ID. It should include a date that verifies your current enrollment. So not in all cases will an ID badge give you that information. Or another form of proof, you can have a letter with your school letterhead with a date that demonstrates your current enrollment. So the big thing here is they want to see that you're currently a student. So I had trouble. Sometimes they wouldn't let me upload a photo and I had to take a picture, and it was a big pain. So if you do have to do that, you could do something like create your document and then print it out and then take a picture of it. Or if you have a webcam on a wire, you could make it on your screen and take a picture of your screen. I know it sounds ridiculous, but the better option is to upload a JPEG or PNG, and so that's the option we'll go with. So this is going to be a little bit different based on your exact school, but I'm going to use the example of my school currently, which is not New River Community College, but is the University of Virginia. So I log into a student information system for the University of Virginia, and it looks something like this. So the reason that I have to access this is, again, because I don't have the date on my student ID. So if you look at my UVA ID, it literally just says my initials and then my last name, and it shows a picture. There's no dates at all on this, so that would not suffice. You can look at my old community college ID. This one's a little more detailed. It has an issue date. It has the range of when I'm supposed to be enrolled. It has a student ID number that could, sort of link two documents together if I can see that ID number on another thing. But it just may depend on your exact ID situation, whether your ID is going to work. But in a lot of cases it won't. So you're going to want to find something within your student information system that can validate your current enrollment. So whether that's, the list of your classes that you're taking this semester to show that you're actively enrolled, or ideally what you want is something that shows not only are you enrolled today, but you're going to be enrolled, say, for the next 2 or 4 years. So that something that has, for example, a graduation date is a great way to show that. So for me, you may have to play around in your student information system to find something like this, but for me I have something under academics called programs, and this shows my current program, which has an expected grad term of 2028 summer. So this is a really great example because it shows who I am. Over here you can see that picture that could match me to my ID. And then if I make it big enough, it's going to show that I'm active in program. It's going to show that I'm expected grad term is in the future, and my matriculation term was in the past. So that's good. And then it shows my picture and my name. So I'm going to go ahead and just use snipping tool, which comes with Windows 11. And I'm going to click New, and then take a screen grab of all this information. And to make it super obvious, I can also go in here and mark up this picture a little bit. So I can take, for example, I can say my admit term, my grad term, I'm active in program, and you can see my picture down here. Whoops, undo with Control Z. My picture down here and my name, and that should be a pretty good proof. And so I'm going to save that as we'll just say GitHub Ed proof, and then I'm going to click, actually I'm not going to click Edit in Paint, I'm going to just open Paint, and let's see if we can import to Canvas from a file. So first I'm going to go ahead and import that proof. Alright, and I'm going to zoom out with Control Scroll and drag this in the center there. Make this to fit. Alright, and then I'm going to File, Import to Canvas from a file, and I'm going to import that picture of my ID just for good measure. And I'm going to make that smaller here, drag it over top so that you can see this is me. And also for good measure, I'm going to go ahead and just underline my name and circle my picture there. I'm not sure how to make this pen bigger. Sure, there's a way. Alright, so now if a human were to look at this, it would be pretty obvious where they should look and that it's pretty good proof. So I'm going to save this. Notice it's saving as a PNG. JPEG should also be fine. We're going to replace the file that exists, and hopefully if we go here and we say upload a photo and we pick from that, hopefully it will let us do this. Again, I've had issues with this in the past. And then you would click process my application. Now I'm not going to pick this because obviously this is for where I go and New River is not where I go, so I'm going to click cancel. But it may take some time, may take 24 or 48 hours. You may receive a rejection email that explains, you need to add extra information to your profile to verify your identity. So just kind of follow whatever steps. It's okay if it gets rejected the first time. If you're really a student, there will be a way for you to prove that you go to the school that you go to. So just follow the instructions you get via email, and within usually 1, 2, 3, 4 days you should be able to get access to these benefits. And then what's going to happen is, for example, with my actual GitHub that's attached to my UVA school account, then you will have a GitHub Pro active for your account, and that will give you fewer limitations and also give you access to certain other benefits that GitHub Education may have. And just a sense of what this will look like, you can see you get a record of your applications and what happened. So I had an expired application, and then I had some issues with my photo, and then I had some issues with my billing information. They didn't need a credit card, they just needed my full name exactly as it appeared on my education documents, and then I got everything right and got reapproved here. So with that, you should be able to get access to those benefits, and it should automatically update within Copilot, since in your IDE, since this is connected to the internet. It should update. If you have any issues, you just sign out, sign back in, which you can easily do here. And there you go. Now you should have access to GitHub Copilot. So I'm not going to show you how to use GitHub Copilot in this video, but that is how you can use your educational status to get access to Copilot and go through that application process, making sure you have those important pieces of data so that your application can hopefully get approved the first time. Thank you for watching.